All right, guys, big news out of the Big Ten today. Penn State hires Manny Diaz, the former Miami head coach. And I think that this is a really good move by Penn State for a lot of reasons. You know, Manny Diaz, you look at Manny Diaz, and Manny Diaz was a defensive coordinator at Texas, at Louisiana Tech, at the University of Miami for a very long time. He's been at NC State. His alma mater, ironically, is Florida State, which I never would have known about that. So I mean, that would have been the irony of all irony. But he's from Miami, and he has years and years of defensive coaching experience. At Middle Tennessee State, he was the defensive coordinator. I then got hired to Mississippi State, Texas for 2 years, and then once again another stint at Mississippi State before going to Miami. So he has bounced around a lot of jobs. He got his opportunity to be head coach at Miami. I would argue that he actually shouldn't have been fired because, you know, they were starting to get it rolling a little bit towards the back half of this season. But that is, in a nutshell, what Manny Diaz is all about. He brings with him like probably 20 years of defensive coordinatorship. He's a great recruiter, and he's been at the biggest places. He's been at Miami and Texas. So Penn State, you go from Brent Pry to Manny Diaz. I mean, they're going to be attacking. They're going to be a blitz-heavy defense. Kids are going to want to play for Manny Diaz, and he's a great defensive coordinator, elite. He's an all-right head coach. He's a great defensive coordinator. And for Penn State and Franklin, this was the time. I mean, James Franklin has had, he had a losing season during the pandemic. And then last year, I think it was an 8-4 season. And he's not good against Michigan State, and Ohio State. He only had that one historic year when they beat Ohio State and won the Big Ten championship. So they were really good with Trace McSorley, with Saquon Barkley. He's done a decent job there. They beat Memphis in the Cotton Bowl. So they're an all-right program. They made it to the Rose Bowl, lost to Sam Darnold in a thrilling game. That was the peak of Penn State. But Penn State has at least gone 9-3. They're at least going to Florida, New Year's Six bowls, which is decent, but that's not what Penn State wants. Penn State wants to beat Ohio State. If James Franklin's going to stay and be legit, you have to beat Ohio State, and you have to beat Michigan and Michigan State on your schedule in the Big Ten East. Now with Manny Diaz, this is a power move by Franklin. It shows urgency, and now you're adding in a guy that I am probably the highest on in Drew Aller. Drew Aller, to me, screams NFL quarterback. He has elements of Josh Allen and Ben Roethlisberger, and I know that I might be jinxing Drew Aller, but he's a top 5 quarterback recruit any website in the country. He's a 5-star. He's mobile, can throw it. So when you have a great quarterback, you need to supplement it with your defense, and James Franklin recruits well, but guess what? The defense has been fine, but maybe Manny Diaz can take it to a new level, and you combine that with the emergence of a quarterback, and you're also getting Yurachek, I believe, or the guy from Oklahoma State, the guy from Ohio State. This is the coordinator's second season working in Penn State. Penn State could be that team to take a leap. I know that Sean Clifford said he's coming back, but I think it would be a mistake to have Sean Clifford start over Drew Aller. You want to start the future quickly. You don't want Drew Aller only being there 2 years. You also have Bo Priscilla, who's a top 25 recruit that should be able to compete in that quarterback room. But for Penn State, guys that go to the defensive line, they hammer the draft process. You have Micah Parsons. You have guys on that defensive line under Sean Spence that's now on the Giants that have gotten to the NFL. I really like this hire. Now, it's a little bit controversial because Manny Diaz is a big personality. He's coming in with James Franklin. If it was a brand new coaching staff, like even Brent Venables, it might not even be the best choice. But bring it in with Franklin now. They're kind of in a stale place. Many Penn State fans are like, why are you signing James Franklin to a 10-year deal? And I wouldn't have done 10 years. But listen, with Manny and James right now, now is the time to press send and go all in, and I believe you have the recruiting class and the quarterback to do it, and that's why I think this move is great. The timing of the move is great, and for James Franklin, I really like the pull to get Manny Diaz.